All right, perfect. So if you're getting this video, it is likely that I've included you as a regular on my channel, Jesse Spots. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this system. I want to try it out because I think it takes some of the burden off of the moderators, just to give, people that I'm familiar with and that I trust commands that they can use that help the moderators. So you can actually see some of the commands we'll be talking about right here. And there's a way that you can view this list from the chat itself. But on my end, in this little program that I have, this is how I send Nightbot to the channel. And this is how he leaves the channel. So if he's not in the channel, these aren't going to work. So you'll just have to default to the regular system. The moderators will just have to block and time out people as usual. But the commands that I've come up with, they should help give more accountability. They should help to make the decisions more transparent. Ideally, that's what I'd hope for. So right here in the chat, if you are a regular and you've been given that user class, you can type commands. Nightbot will respond if he's in the room, and you'll have access to something that looks like this. Now, it's more limited, clearly. In fact, this does not work, so don't even try to request songs unless for the fun of it. But these are all the commands that you have access to. So there's flagging and there's tagging. Those are the main ones that we're dealing with today. So what you're doing essentially is you're interacting with a file that has 10 slots, and you are showing people the decisions that you're making as you make them, so that there's less questions, so that it doesn't look like there's anything shady going on. So everything's pretty much out in the open. So flag is what we'll deal with that first. That's to basically see a pre-existing flagged comment. All right, so he gave us a flagged comment, and that's only because this script is set to give, I guess, a random comment if you're not specific. So what you should really do is type flag and then the number like that, or you can type flag list, and it will give you a link to show you all of the current flags. Okay, so this is the first step in taking corrective action against somebody. Now, in most cases, when somebody's being a troll, it's obvious that they're being a troll. This system is reserved for people who are more sensitive. Maybe there's a relationship there. They've been good in the past, or maybe they're drunk or high, or they're trying to be really passive aggressive, sneaky, under the radar, that type of stuff. So in this situation, what happened was a user named Santa Claus came into the channel, and he straight up said, this. So you're just copying the chat line word for word that he said, and you're adding flag plus, because you're submitting that to this file. So flag plus will submit to this file. It will pop up here as number 4. So let's put an E on there so you can see. All right. So there's entry number 4. And we can confirm here by refreshing this file. And there it is, Santa Claus. Ho, 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 you jerks. I'm out of here, losers. Back to the no-po. And it even tells you who submitted the flag. In this case, it was me on my backup channel. Okay, so likewise, if you made a mistake or if it's been resolved, you can delete entry number 4 by doing that. Nightbot's being pretty slow. All right, removing flag or updating successfully deleted entry number 4. We can confirm number 4 is gone. Now, one thing to note is that if you delete number 1, the entire list will shift up, so the numbers will change. So be careful if you're coming back 24 hours later with the same number system. It's better to go to this list and work from there. But this list is handy because if you have access to all the flagged comments and all the users who have been tagged, you can use that to your advantage when you block somebody or time somebody out and people are confused. You can you can show them, like, see, they had a flagged comment. It's not just me. It's like other people agree with me. This person's being ridiculous. I mean, that's how you're using this system. Okay, so it goes to the next step. The person has flagged comments or one flagged comment, depending on the severity of it or the relationship. And now you want to tag the person because you think that corrective action is coming. So you're just going to type the person's name. You're going to put the date for accountability. Maybe this will go to a file somewhere. And we'll, if we ever need to repeal a ban, we can refer back to this. Santa Claus showed up wasting everyone's time, hasn't learned his lesson. Sorry, I feel so bad. I think it's better to just stay objective rather than putting all the emotional aspects into it, because the whole idea is that somebody else has your back. Maybe you're tagging somebody, but it was another regular who flagged them. So it was like a 2-man process, right? So there we go. We're submitting that tag. And this is what the moderators can review to just ban somebody who's being passive aggressive or sneaky, or there's a really strained relationship. The person's obviously not being supportive or encouraging or anything. They're just there to cause trouble. All right, so entry number 7. So that actually means that there's a long tag list that you can request here. Let's take a look at that. You might not do that command too many times in the chat to give people straight up, access to what's going on behind the scenes. But if you have to, certainly. So this is where Santa Claus knows he's in trouble, because he's only, one step away from being banned. Really, if somebody is putting his name on this list, he's banned already, right? So, I mean, you could block him theoretically and then tag him to show the rest of the channel that there was full transparency about it. Because in some cases, if the word's using, somebody's using the N word or something ridiculous, you probably want to delete their comment, block them, and then retroactively go and tag them. But the ideal situation is to flag, tag, and then ban them or flag tag and bag them. So yeah, so it's the same thing. If we want to delete, let's delete our entry number 6 here. Nightbot keeps returning using alt accounts, wastes everyone's time, banning to be done with it. That's a good entry, right? Very nice and to the point. You start with a verb, just go right into it. So let's go ahead and we're not doing this because that would be adding a file, right? This would be to just simply read the file. We're deleting that line on the file, and that was what, 6, I believe. So we're deleting tag number 6. Get that? Tag minus space 6. And we're going to get a confirmation. Okay. So that's really a concise way to do it. It's going to take rhythm for people to, first of all, step their toe in the water and get used to this system. But I'm hoping that it will really speak to people, to this user class. I'm hoping it'll want to make people become regulars. I'm hoping that the moderators will enjoy this too. And there's other commands that I've added, and there are other commands that I might add. But for now, I just want people to get used to, flag plus, flag minus. That makes sense? Let me do that so that Nightbot doesn't get activated. And then, of course, tag plus, tag minus. Now, if you don't quite understand it yet, that's okay. Just watch other people use it, and you'll figure it out. There's only 10 lines in this current script. So once it starts looking like this, we're probably going to want to save this to an email or something and start getting rid of the people who have been resolved for weeks and stuff. So there's no reason for unless this happens all in one chat, in one live stream, which I hope it doesn't. Then you got a problem. Then you just have to start blocking people without any flags or tags. But I don't know. I hope it doesn't get to be that point. There it is, how this works. Regulars can flag, tag, bag comments to make the mod's job easier. This 3-step process is reserved for difficult situations. Repeal bans. Bill Hicks, Discord@gmail.com.